Hi guys, this is Oliver. Happy New Year everyone. The Stranger Things series finale, the fifth and final season of season 5 of Stranger Things has finally wrapped, and the first season of It Welcome To Derry has finally wrapped. Both shows came out around the same time. So in this video I'm going to do a review of both shows, what I thought of them, but also why It Welcome To Derry worked so well for me, and why Stranger Things Season 5, while still enjoyable, didn't fully land emotionally. And to clarify, I'm a big fan of both shows. Even though I say that Stranger Things Season 5 didn't work, I still really like Stranger Things. It's a great show. You can see the shirt that I'm wearing here. I got this Hellfire Club shirt for Christmas. Pretty comfy actually. And I also got this Stranger Things mug. It kind of makes sense to talk about both shows in this one video because both shows are about a monster and a group of kids, and Stranger Things is inspired by it as well as other Stephen King stories. So that's why it makes sense to talk about both shows into one video. I still really enjoyed Stranger Things Season 5. In particular, I think that Episode 6 and Episode 8 were especially great, in my opinion. But the big problem is that none of the main characters died. And because of that, the stakes feel lower, much lower. The scale of both season 4 and 5, so incredibly just big in scale, but the stakes didn't really feel as high. The only characters that did die, which, spoiler alert by the way for both shows, Carly and Eleven. Which Carly, she didn't really add much to the story to be honest, but Eleven, the fact that she sacrificed herself and everything, that was insane. And that final scene between Eleven and Mike, just amazing scene. And I think just the relationship between Mike and Eleven throughout the show is so great. I think Finn Wolfhard's acting in the scene was amazing, in this scene in particular. But the fact that at the end of the episode, where they had footage of where Mike explained that, oh, Eleven died, but oh, not really. And then they showed footage of her somewhere. I think that was really lazy writing. I was so frustrated by that. I was like, what were they thinking?
What was I thinking?
I really like these characters in Stranger Things, but I think that the fact that there are so many of these characters, there's so many characters. Like the scene in episode 7 where Will is telling the truth to everyone. Noah Schnapp gives an amazing performance in this scene, like a great performance. But I think that the fact that there were so many characters in that scene, why? There shouldn't have been that many characters. And some of the characters hugged Will, but then there were other characters who were just standing in the background just doing nothing. By now at this point, the show has trained us to believe the main cast will always survive. So even during big moments, it feels like they're safe. And that really removes tension. When characters always survive, danger starts to feel temporary. In Welcome to Derry, fear stays with you, especially when Pennywise shows up. In Stranger Things, fear shows up, but it doesn't stick, really. It Welcome to Derry works because it feels dangerous. In the last 3 episodes, you really feel like anything could happen. The show doesn't protect its characters, and that makes every decision matter. The stakes feel high because the story reminds us that Derry is a place where people lose. There's no guarantee of safety, and that creates real tension. And they actually kill off characters, which is something that Stranger Things couldn't pull off over the course of 5 seasons. But It Welcome to Derry manages to pull that off in only the first season. Easily the best thing about It Welcome to Derry is that Bill Skarsgård is amazing as Pennywise. His performance and every single scene with Pennywise, every time he was on screen, I was glued to the screen. Just his acting and his lines of dialogue. It's a shame that he didn't show up until episode 5, but as soon as he showed up, the show was just got so much better. I think there were some scary sequences even before Pennywise showed up. I think in particular, I think the bed scene in episode 2 was terrifying, and I was genuinely scared. The stakes in that scene felt much higher than in any of the episodes of Stranger Things 5. Honestly, one of the best things about Welcome to Derry is that actions have real consequences. When characters mess up, the story doesn't undo it later. That makes the horror feel real instead of fake. For example, when Lily argues with Ronnie, they don't become best friends again until while the burning of the black spot is happening, Lily isn't even there. They don't even team up again until like after the black spot burned down and everything. And I think the acting from these kids is just amazing. And like many of the main characters died in the first season, which is pretty insane actually. And it was so emotional, and you actually cared about the characters. You actually like felt bad for them, and you felt sorry for them. I think my personal favorite characters were Lily and Rich. I think that Rich, I think the chemistry between Rich and Marge was great. Their bond, the fact that they only had like 2 episodes where they bonded, and I still like actually cared about them. I think episode 7 was probably the best episode of the whole show. Either episode 7 or 8. Just episode 6 and 7. No, I'm tired of that. Let's just leave that in 2025. We should leave that. Especially episode 7 I think was so amazing, because just that entire one-take sequence was just so amazing and so well made. Like, It Welcome To Derry, the show as a whole, it's so well made. Like, I can't believe how they did it. Like, Andy Muschietti, it is easily the best Andy Muschietti has done. I think my biggest complaint with It Welcome To Derry is that the CGI isn't that very good, especially in the opening scene of episode 3. Like, Andy Muschietti, when it comes to some of the movies and shows he has done, the CGI isn't really the best. He also directed the Flash movie, and even though I really enjoyed that movie, one of the worst things about that movie is that the visual effects aren't that great. In Welcome to Derry, it looks slightly better, but there are still like some scenes here and there where like, it doesn't really look the best. So I think that Stranger Things has better visual effects than Welcome to Derry has, because Netflix is like a bigger budget, of course. Stranger Things season 5, it's fun and enjoyable, well made and emotional. But It Welcome to Derry works way better as a horror story because it takes risks, raises the stakes, and doesn't play it safe at all. And it's only the first season. And for horror, that makes all the difference. I also think that the dialogue was atrocious in season 5. It felt so awkward, like some of the lines of dialogue that they gave these characters. Especially, like, the most noticeable for me was with Maya Hawke, who is such a great actress, but her performance as Robin in season 5 just wasn't that good. I think that episode 6 was the best episode of season 5 because not only the episode was directed by Sean Levy, who also directed Dear Billy, which was the best episode of season 4. Like, every time he directs an episode of Stranger Things, it's normally the best episode, or one of the best episodes. So of course it was an amazing episode, and in that episode there wasn't really as much dialogue. There wasn't really as much of that like cringy dialogue. And I actually think the scene where Nancy and Jonathan they are breaking up, I think that was such an amazing scene, and the dialogue in this scene actually felt human, and it actually just made sense, and I actually got emotionally invested in the scene. So I really wish that more scenes were like this. Like, some of the like character interactions in the final episodes were so great. More like this, not like this, you know. By the way, I really liked Derek, he was funny, but some of the dialogue with him was kind of sucked. The Stranger Things season 5 epilogue was so sweet, emotional, and honestly beautiful, but the season as a whole left me wanting more. It played things a little too safe. And that final fight when they were fighting the Mind Flayer, oh my god, the CGI looked so good. It was like this whole scene was straight out of a Marvel movie. And the fact that Joyce actually cut Vecna's head off, like that was so brutal and so cool. Like, that was awesome. We needed more of that in season 5. But overall, I think the season was disappointing, and the finale could have been better, but I enjoyed it. It Welcome to Derry, on the other hand, was way scarier, riskier, and that season 1 ending absolutely nailed it. Wow. The ending with Beverly having a cameo and the old lady from It Chapter 2 returning, which the actress who plays her sadly passed away a few months after they filmed the scene. Rest in peace. The stakes felt real. The fear stuck. And that's why it worked better for me, in my opinion. Anyways, guys, that's it for this video. This is just my opinion. Don't summon Pennywise in the comments, please. This is just my opinion. And remember, if a horror show promises danger, actually let it be dangerous. A great example of this is the horror TV show that I made, Skull Universe. In the fifth and final season, we actually killed off characters. Stranger Things season 5 should have been like Scully Universe season 5. Bye.